Welcome to the Hangin with Kyle and Ronna show, a show that explores the creative culture of Oklahoma City. And now your hosts, Kyle and Ronna.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Hangin with Kyle and
Ronna.
That's right. We're just making this up as we go. My name is Kyle Golding. I'm the CEO and Chief Strategic Ideas for the Golden Group. I'm also a visual artist, a musician, and creative professional, joined today with my pal, my bestie, my sister from another mister, Miss Ronna Pernell. Tell them who you are, Ronna.
That's right. I am artist Ronna Pernell. I'm a visual artist, illustrator, photographer, and now author, and hanging with my buddy Kyle.
I do a lot of podcasts and a lot of video programs like this. Ronna has been a guest on my podcast before. She's a fan. She said to me, why can't we do our own show? Why can't we just sit and talk? Why can't we just hang out the way we hang out? But do something, record it, talk to people about art and culture and opportunity and all the things that we're involved in here in Oklahoma City and Oklahoma and the Midwest region as a whole. Right?
Yes. So when I was discussing with Kyle about my idea, he said, well, why not? So the idea was to contact with the creative culture of Oklahoma City. I think that it's a platform to offer writers, filmmakers, poetry, dancers, writers, all those creatives that we march to our own little drum, to give an opportunity to show Oklahoma City what you have to offer and how we can probably connect you eventually.
It's 2022. You don't have to wait for one TV station or one newspaper to come to you and ask what you're doing. And with arts and culture, you can make your own platform. You can create your own vehicles. You can create your own devices. You can interview people. You can hang out. You can do stuff with your friends. You can do anything like that. It's all good, right?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Especially he makes it more comfortable. He has so much knowledge. He's always been creative, supporting creatives. He does also, you do art too.
Would I have time? Not as much these days as I used to, but I'm inspired by artists and creative thinkers, and not just artists, but artists that even get outside the box of art, that kind of push the boundaries like Ronna has done. Now, right now, currently, the project we're working on is doing your own thing.
I know.
Ronna just published a book.
Yes. So to give kind of background of how me and Kyle met, we met through a group called Inclusion in Art,
Right.
Which was our mutual
Shout
friend.
out to Nathan Lee.
Nathan Lee, yes.
Skip Hill, Suzanne Thomas Justice, all the good folks at Inclusion in Art that we've been involved with for a long time.
And they've been part of a staple in the art community, giving us guidance of different directions and allowing us to step outside the box. But I wanted to show or share about how Creative 19 came about.
Right, 1219 Creative, which was our gallery space, 12th in Classen, for about 5 years. It's gone now. Believe it or not, it's a dispensary. The things happen in Oklahoma City these days. But it was a creative collaborative space where we could have made it up. We kind of made our own rules and made it up as we were going along, created a little bit of community, working with Inclusion in Art, working with the Bewleys with their glass studio right next door, working with all kinds of artists in the gallery. But again, it wasn't something where we were following the rules. It wasn't something like we had an example. We were just doing our own thing.
And it gave back to Oklahoma City. And it gave, whereas people had opportunity to showcase their art, like once a month.
Yeah.
Was it once a month?
Every month we had an opening. I think the first Friday or second Friday, something like that. It's been a few years now. But again, I think the main thing you need to take away from it is you don't have to wait for permission from anyone else. You don't have to ask anyone else to do something. You can just think of ideas, create collaborations, find an opportunity, create an opportunity, and then do your thing. And if it works out, that's awesome. If it doesn't, at least you learned something.
And then I just want to share of how we met. Of course through Nathan, but one pivotal part of our relationship is that he was open and honest, and I was able to come to him at a vulnerable time of my career because I was preparing for my exhibition, which was pretty big, Unspoken Woman, and business. Some things I just didn't know, or that he gave me guidance, free, not trying to look to charge me, but I eventually hired him to do my PR, which I was working a day job. And he was
like most artists do, you know.
He was my go-to guy. Whereas if I needed something handled, I said, Kyle, I can't handle it. And so he would intervene, and that's how our relationship developed. And
organically, naturally.
Yes.
Just two people trying to help each other out. Again, that's why you'll probably hear me say collaboration 100 times today. It's one of my favorite ideas, concepts. You know, get 2 people, 6 people, 100 people together and make something happen.
And our biggest collaboration was Unspoken Woman, whereas he helped what I told him what my vision was. Like, I was trying to do QR codes. I was trying to do something different that was off the chart. He helped create the voiceovers for the website and launch all at one time. And I appreciate that.
And from the success of that opening exhibition, the exhibition itself, the videos, the website, now that collection of art is a book.
It is a book.
Yes, your coffee table book. You gotta talk about this book because it's an amazing opportunity to work with you again, and an amazing example of taking your creative vision of artistry and expression and continuing to move it forward. It's not just a singular event in time, it's continual. It has a life of its own.
Well, the part when I came to you for the idea, he wasn't feeling it at first. He was trying to understand. And but when I tried to come with you, because it wasn't supposed to be a traveling exhibition, which never happened, you know, things happen. And so I felt that it deserved to be in a book.
And I agree.
So when I explained the idea or the concept of the book, he was open to the idea. And then I met him in his office. I cornered him, y'all. I cornered him, y'all, so he wouldn't avoid, so he could understand what I was trying to portray. The one good thing about our collaboration is that you allow me to speak the vision, and then we both together try to see how we can make it happen together. And that's one thing as creatives, you have to understand that sometimes you have to get help.
A little bit of compromise, a little bit of give and take, and the more input from different people with different perspectives sometimes can push you into a place that you probably wouldn't have gone previously or didn't feel comfortable doing, and you end up with something that is ultimately interesting and valuable.
And I felt that you challenged me, business-wise and plus creatively.
Right.
Because I wanted...
And you got to have both. Too many artists get too stuck on creative and they forget about the business side. You got to pay the bills. You got to eat. You deserve to get paid what you're worth, but you have to have a business approach. It doesn't mean that your art isn't the art you were going to make anyways. Make your art for your creativity, for your expression, but then use your discipline, which you have, to promote it and be business-like and get paid the way you deserve to get paid as an artist.
I like, because he think how I like. We, in that manner, as far as business-wise, we're methodical. We try to execute our part of execution. Like he said, self-discipline. But that's the part of the respect that I have for you and our relationship business-wise.
And I think that's why art and business should go together, and we don't talk about it enough. Artists do not talk about business enough and how to get paid their worth and their value. And we do a good job of that. That's one of the reasons we wanted to make this video today and have this conversation about how that can be done.
And the one thing that I wanted to talk to all creatives is that you got to have fans, got to develop the fans, and then plus building relationships, networking, building relationships that are lifelong,
right.
Which Kyle is my family now. He's all in the family, but I just appreciate his honesty. Because whenever you have those relationships, somebody could talk to you honestly and come from the hip, and you really don't get offended. because me and him had a discussion about my cover on my book.
We had a few different versions of it, and we ended up with a version which very much was a compromise between our two visions.
Well, it was really Kyle.
But ultimately everyone kind of finds it.
It worked out.
Yeah, a lot of people like it, so it worked out really well.
And I appreciate it. Thank you for that.
That's the value of collaboration, and that word again, collaboration, but collaborative efforts and collaborative mindsets. And artists are really good about being creative and making something out of nothing, but then they get too locked into this is how it has to be. And the world is nothing of locked in how you have to be. There's all kinds of opportunities out in the world.
Yes, and so now these days social media is important, and that's key. So I felt that this particular platform, hopefully eventually it'll grow to whereas you creatives want to come sit with me and Kyle and discuss your beginnings, your challenges, what you look for in the future, and then you maybe inspire other creatives in your lane, other lanes, or people just admire what you do.
That's how it works. Put yourself out there, but be open to other people, and you create opportunities.
I really appreciate that.
Again, there's no hard and fast rules, and something like this, it could be different every time, or it could be the two of us talking every time, but it could be a guest. It could be in a different place. Maybe we're driving in the car. Who the heck knows? Maybe we go to an art gallery and look at art and talk about it at the same time.
Exactly.
I don't know. You guys tell us. What do you want to see?
Or see you dancers dancing, yes. Or either
listening
hear you
to
writers
music.
Talking about your book or your next book of what you are looking to write about, or your poetry, reciting poetry, and tell about your humble beginnings. Or my one thing is that when I was in school with the community, they had like music school, right, homemaking. Yeah. They had art classes. I don't know if they really have that in school now. I just want to inspire the children, communities, or people just older like us.
We've been around the block a couple times.
Yeah, just a couple times.
Times.
But I just wanted to share this with our audience, our peoples, to whereas it'll open up a different lane. Right. Maybe somebody want to come on, like Kyle said. But I just want to thank you for your time, and I just want to thank you sincerely, brother.
I'm so happy that you had this idea to do this. Hanging with Kyle and Ronna, Ronna and Kyle,
That's
just
right.
hanging out with artists, hanging around town. Who knows what it's going to be? It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what happens next.
All right, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time, but I do want to put a shameless plug about our coffee table book. You can purchase the coffee table book, Unspoken Woman, on www.unspokenwoman.com. We can share with you and Kyle, and you could keep it as a treasure for your home, and be able to have a conversation with the coffee table book. I just felt that it was a different lane, and as far as for me,
a beautiful collection of art right in one place.
Yeah, and I just believed it was telling a story that I felt that deserved to be told.
If you think you want to do a book, you want to do an art project, you want to do an event, hit us up. If you want to be on this program, if you want to talk about arts and culture, if you got something you want to praise someone about, or you want to complain about, or you want to call someone out, good way or bad way, hit us up. Hit us up on social media. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, and let's have a conversation. Let's create opportunities, and it'll be the last time I say it. Let's collaborate.
Yes, collaborate.
There we go.